What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me going over the best gear sets for both Albedo, Sheler, Ainz, and Kittis from the Overlord collaboration, and going over all the gears that you guys might want to run on these characters and my best recommended gear for each of them. So if you guys have not hit that subscribe button already, man, on the channel, definitely make sure to. Your boy is on the road to the 40,000 subscribers. Guys, let's make sure we hit that 40k before the end of the year, man. You know, I know November Festival is going to be coming up soon. December Festival is going to be right around the corner as well, so you know we got a lot of time here, but definitely make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't already, man. Now with that out of the way, guys, let's hop in and let's go over each of the characters and my best recommendations for their gear. We're going to be going over Albedo first, and then we'll do Sheler, and then we'll go to Ainz and Kittis. So starting with Albedo, my recommendation for her gear set is going to be HP defense. Now the reason why I recommend HP defense is because this gear set covers all game modes in the game. But if you're running Albedo in like PvP, you're going to want to have HP defense. If you're running her in PvE, even HP defense in that is still really good. Now, the main reason you're running HP defense is because Albedo is a counter stance unit. The way it works for her counter specifically is that for every buff on her counter, because she has Amplify, she's going to be dealing more damage and dealing 150%, 250, and 450. Right, so this is going to be the counter damage she's able to deal based on the amount of buffs she has. Now, if you're running attack crit damage, you might think that that's better because you're dealing more damage. But the thing is, for you to be able to counter, you have to tank the hit. Right, so the more ideal setup in terms of gear for Albedo is going to be HP defense, because you want to tank the hit before you counter back, right? If you're not tanking the hit, you're not going to be able to counter back, right? So that's kind of the main thought process when thinking about gear for Albedo. And even characters like Chandler, like, do you run attack crit damage Chandler? No, you run HP defense, because the way he's sorted out is to be a taunt unit. He sets up the taunt, he has the counter, and whenever he gets hit, he's going to deal damage back to the enemy. And I know Chandler's counter is a little bit different, but it's the same idea, right? You run HP defense because you want to tank as much of the damage as possible to counter back and deal a ton as well. So that's pretty much the main reason why you would do HP defense. In terms of the actual substat rolls, guys, it's going to be your standard attack rolls on the top pieces. So both of these top pieces attack rolls, the middle pieces are going to be your defense rolls, right? And then the bottom pieces are going to be your HP rolls. So just make sure you have it in sorted in this manner. It's going to be pretty good for your setup. And I did make Albedo UR gear because I did see the value in how strong she actually is when using her. If you guys haven't seen my bird showcase for Albedo, that is the best spot in the game where she actually does these like 1,000,000+ damage counters. Check out that video if you guys haven't already, and that was with a HP defense Albedo as well. Now moving on from Albedo, guys, we can move on from her in terms of her gear set. One last thing I will mention though before we move on is that you can run crit defense. I know a lot of people were like, yo, Amazing, should I run HP crit defense or HP crit resistance? And those are okay, but it's mainly for like Heroes Arena, right? If you're going to be running it for Heroes Arena, then yeah, I mean, having an HP crit defense or HP, crit resistance could be good. And I wouldn't recommend making her UR gear for it. I would honestly just recommend you swap on, another crit defense piece for her, because I don't think she needs UR. But the rest of the pieces, you would definitely want UR. So at the bare minimum, you want to have 4 set HP at least. Alright, guys, so moving over to Sheler here as the next character to cover for her gear. In my opinion, the best gear set for Sheler is actually going to be an HP defense set. And the reasoning that I have for this is because Sheler is a character just kind of like Purgatory Melee, where she gets a really strong attack buff after, either being hit or her attacking herself. Sure, her buff is a little bit different though versus Purgatory Melees, where Purgatory Melees can proc mid-turn, whereas Sheler's can only proc once you actually, start a turn with the 3 HP related buffs. If you don't have those 3 HP related buffs at the start of the turn, she's not going to be able to do it, and she can't, get the 50% attack related. But the reasoning that I'm going to give for HP defense mainly for Sheler is because when you get that 50% attack buff, it's overkill running attack crit damage. And honestly, the damage you're going to deal on attack crit damage before the 50% attack related up isn't going to be as substantial as when you do get the berserk anyway. And so the thing is with Sheler 2 is you want to make sure you're tanking hits so you can even get into the position for having frenzy, right? Or the berserk buff, right? if you don't have enough of the HP related stacks by the time you're attacking and you're not able to deal enough damage, then that's gonna be an issue, right? You need to be able to get that attack related buff, and so the way you can actually get that is by tanking longer, or by staying on the fight longer and just tanking with a HP defense set. It's just gonna be the way to go. You know, you would rather tank the hits so that you get the 50% attack up before being a glass cannon and not being able to get it because you just, you know, you don't have enough stats to tank. So in my opinion, guys, because of that, and it's kind of the same situation as Perk Melee. Like, what gear set do you guys run on Perk Melee, right? It's a HP defense set because of the way Perk Melee works, where he gets the attack related up. And he doesn't necessarily need, like attack crit damage, because the attack damage is just overkill. It's true, right? So it's kind of the same situation with Sheler, guys, and I think as well, like, the healing from her Holy Relic is going to be really good too, and so with that, it's going to make her very, very tanky, right? It's going to be hard to kill her, especially after she's getting all those HP buffs. With an HP defense check, she's not going to die, and then she's going to get the Frenzy buff, or the Berserk buff, I mean, and she's going to get that 50% attack related, and from there, she's just going to be doing a ton of damage. So yeah, my recommendation for Sheler specifically is going to be an HP defense set. It's going to be the way that she works, and yeah, I mean, it might not sound like it's the best set, but it is in actual, you know, testing out in an actual play, right? So that's what I'm going to recommend for Sheler. Moving on to Ainz, guys, this is the next character we're going to be going over in terms of the best gear. Now, I haven't really gotten to use Ainz myself, but from what I can tell, he's more of like a supportive base character, right? If we actually look at his passive here, Ainz is trying to decrease damage dealt and all target ultimate move final damage in PvP, right? That's his main, you know, way he works. And then also getting the death sentence off, right? The death sentence is going to be inflicts additional damage equal to 100% of remaining HP at the end of the turn, and also removes the death brand when removed, so that it's going to just kill people, right? So pretty much the setup that you want to do with Ainz is you want to do like a bunch of AoEs, start applying those death brands, and once they have the 4 death brands and then they have an extra turn, they're going to get the death sentence and then just instantly die. And so the way that you know, when you're running Ainz is you want to make him very, very tanky, because he's kind of like the supportive type character of the team, right? Because you're running Ainz so that you're able to apply those death marks, or the death brands, and the more death brands you apply, the less damage they're going to deal to you, which means that running that HP set is going to make you so tanky that they can't even kill you, right? So that's pretty much the setup you want to run with Ainz, because he's a supportive base character. He obviously has the attack related lower, and honestly, a single target card, the Verdict card, will hit very, very hard even on HP defense, right? Because he is, once you get a ton of those death brands on the enemy, you're going to be dealing a ton of damage with the damage dealt, right? So there is that. I think the main thing with Ainz is that, especially if you're like higher dupe level 2, take advantage of that and run HP defense so that they just can't kill you, right? They can't kill you, and then they're eventually going to die from the death sentence. That's kind of the way I would go with Ainz, and the best recommendation I can give is just going to be HP defense, guys. A lot of the characters with this collab seem like HP defense is going to be their best set, but hey, man, it's just the way it goes, right? You know, a lot of these characters are either supportive based or taunting based, or they act like Perk Melee, and because of that, all these characters are going to be running on HP defense. Now, for the actual substat rolls, and I didn't mention this for Sheler, they're going to be the exact same as Albedo. I would run the exact same setup on Albedo as I would on Sheler, as I would on Ainz, because in Grand Cross, when you actually are rolling for stats, HP, attack, and defense is always going to be your best stats, and you don't need different stats from those. You don't need like crit chance, you don't need crit damage, nothing like that on a substat, unless you're doing like very, very like niche setups, right? But with these setups for these characters, for like Ainz and you know, for like for Albedo and Sheler, you know, HP, attack, and defense for the substat rolls is going to be the best way to go about it. So those are the 3 characters like right there, guys. Let's move on to Kittis and talk about his gear now. Alright, guys, now for Kittis, the best gear set you want to run for Kittis is going to be as well another HP defense set. Now the reason why we are running an HP defense set on Kittis as well is because he is a supportive base character as well, guys, mainly for PvE content, right? You can run him on an attack set if you're doing like Belmos, right? If you're trying to deal a ton of damage, then attack set is fair considering he is a PvE character. But the one thing that I feel like will be a big use for him is going to be like a guild boss, right? Because he's going to remove debuffs from allies and then give them HP buffs. You want to make sure that this character is tanky and living throughout the fight. The more HP, the more points you get on guild boss, the better, right? And this also goes for final boss, where you have both of those types of fights where you get a lot more points from having more basic stats, more HP, more attack, all this stuff you're going to be getting through a character like Kittis. And so when you're running him on HP defense is going to be a lot more beneficial than per se like an attack set, specifically in those game modes where you're trying to build for just a ton of stats as you're clearing through the fight, right? So you can run attack, and I think attack is not a bad idea. So like attack crit damage if you're running like Belmos, but other than Belmos, I think the best gear set for Kittis is going to be an HP defense set, just like Albedo, just like Ainz, and just like Sheler. So I think in general, guys, if we actually look at all the characters, I think HP defense will be the best set for all four of them, just because of the way they're all built, right? You can argue for other gear sets to run on each of these characters, but I do think that if I was to make UR gear for all the characters, which I am going to for Sheler as well, but I only have right now for Albedo, but when I do make a UR gear for each of the characters, I'm gonna go with HP defense because that's just gonna be the best gear set to go with. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. That is my recommendations for the best gear sets for the collab characters, man. If you guys have any, points to make in the comment section below for like other gear sets, feel free. I just think that most of the characters here do rely heavily on HP defense for a lot of their builds, right? Let me know again in the comment section below, guys, but that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.